Okay. All right. So let's get started on our exit ticket. I'm going to help you get started on the first section, okay? You're responsible for doing the rest. All right, let's do a quick review. It says to create a two-way relative frequency table, says divide each of the values by the total number of observations, okay? Now, before we do that, we have to make sure we have all our information categorized. Your exit ticket gives us the information. And guess what? We already have everything categorized. Our two categories, our main categories, are students and teachers. Okay? Then our subcategories are winter and summer. Okay? So we're going to read it two ways. We're going to read it from left to right. Okay? And then we're going to go from top to bottom. Okay? Two-way frequency table. Okay? So we have a frequency of things occurring two different ways, from left to right, top to bottom. All right. Let's get started. Let me change my pen here. Okay. Remember, I'm going to go over again. It says to create a two-way relative frequency table, you have to divide each of the values. Okay, so these are our values. These are values right here. Our values are here. Okay. By the total number of observations. All right. Our total number of observations is this right here. Totals for all, right? Remember from our previous experience, or excuse me, from our previous example, we was able to get our totals going from top to bottom that way, or going from left to right, right? 29 plus 11 is 40. 9 plus 31 is 40, okay? Two ways. So now we're going to take each of these values, okay, and divide it by our total number of observations, okay? So now we're going to have our same table, our same exact table. And yes, you need to make it. Okay, it's right there in front of you. No excuse not to make the table. Okay, you can do it on your calculator. All right, so we have winter. We have summer. Okay, and we have our totals. These are our subcategories. Okay, winter, summer are our subcategories. Remember, our main categories, let's fix this. Our main categories are students and teachers and whether they like winter or summer more, okay? All right, so now remember, when we're coming up with this data, we want to know the percentages of them, okay? What percent of students like winter and summer compared to teachers, right? And what percent of teachers like winter and summer compared to students? That's what we're doing, okay? So now, our first column, I'll highlight it. We're doing our first column. These are the columns that we're filling out. You have to do the rest of these. I'm going to do these three for you and help you out. Okay, going back to this again. It says to create a two-way relative frequency table, divide each of the values by the total number of observations. We have it right here. Remember, these are our values right here. Okay, so I'm going to divide for our first one, 4 divided by 40. Well, guess what? 4 divided by 40 is just 10% of 40, right? So we already know for that one, for our first column, okay, it's going to be 10%. Okay. Yes, that's a 0. I put a slash through my 0, so you know it's a 0, not an O. Okay. All right, now we're just going to go to the next one. Now we're doing 25. 25 divided by 40. 25 divided by 40 is 62.5%. That's why we have the decimal. Okay. Again, 25 divided by 40 gives me 62.5%. Okay. Then our last one, we want to know what percentage of the total number of students, okay, that like both winter and summer, what percentage of students like both winter and summer is the total, what percentage, right, of all the students like both winter and summer, okay? Or excuse me, what percentage of students out of both the students and teachers, okay, that like winter and summer. So we're taking the data for all of them, right? This is both the students and teachers, okay, that like winter and summer. And we want to know what percentage of students out of everybody, out of both teachers and students, what percentage of just the students alone out of students and teachers, okay, likes winter and summer. So that's why we're dividing by 40. So now we're going to take 29 divided by 40. 29 divided by 40 is 72.5%. Okay, so when you do this on your calculator, you're not going to put 725, that's 725%. You're going to put 72.5% because that 5 is half of a percent. It's like half of a penny, okay? And that's it. Okay, so now remember, you're responsible for doing the rest of these two. Okay, so all you have to do is divide 5 by 40, divide 6 by 40, and divide 11 by 40. And that will help you fill in the rest of these tables, or excuse me, the rest of these columns right here. Okay, then for the totals, okay, you're just going to divide 9 by 40, divide 31 by 40 to fill in these two columns, right? And remember, for your last one, the total percent, you're just going to have 40 divided by 40. Well, guess what? 40 out of 40 is 100%. It's all of 40. Okay, if I divide 40 by 40, I'm going to get 1. Well, 1 represents 100%. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one here. You should know that this is 100%. Okay, and that's it. So all you need to do is 5 cells within your table. All right.